All right. Have a nice day, everyone. So, class, this is absolutely a video for specific to spanning tree, minimum spanning tree. What we have discussed the last time. This is basically in behalf for those students who wasn't able to definitely get the point about this one, about the subject. So let me just go ahead right now and show you how to come up with this particular what is some spanning tree all about. So right now, class, spanning tree, it is a subset of an undirected graph that containing all of the vertices of the graph connected with the minimum number of edges in the graph. So it should not be disconnected. So all of this particular vertices we have here, it should not be disconnected. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 should be present. Then does not contain a cycle and must contain the number of n of the vertices. So for this one class, in this particular thing here, we do have this. We will be going to come up with the spanning tree for this particular graph we have, the undirected graph. So say, for example, the basic the thing, I mean the minimum spanning tree that we can come up here is we can come up 5 particular minimum spanning tree of this example. So say, for example, as long as it's not a cycle class. So therefore, this is already a spanning tree. Then another example, another spanning tree, we can also say like this. I'm sorry. As long as hindi magka-cycle class, amo na siya ang spanning tree. Minimum spanning tree. Okay. This one. This is also a minimum spanning tree. As long as na connected lang sila in all of the 5 vertices, as long as hindi mag-cycle, that's perfectly the spanning tree. You can also say this one here. You could also put like this. That's still fine. Or it's up to you, as long as the 5 vertices is still present, and you need to always be very particular, must not contain a cycle, and this cannot be disconnected. Wala sila ga-disconnect. It's not right if you're doing like this. That's different story. Other vertices and other vertices here is being disconnected with each other. That's not allowed with graph. So with this one, let's proceed to the minimum spanning tree. When we say minimum spanning tree class, this is a subset of edges of a connected weighted undirected graph that connects all the vertices together with the minimum possible total edge weight. So since minimum spanning tree, so this is particularly ginabuhat natin sa weighted undirected graph. Weighted undirected graph is basically, when we say weighted, may value. May value ang ina ang specific path. Say for example here, may 17, may 21, like that. Okay. So with regards to this right now, let's try to see the Kruskal's algorithm first. So for Kruskal's algorithm, this is basically, we'll still follow what we'll be going to do, we always follow the particular rule of spanning tree that does not contain a graph. A cycle, and of course, it's not disconnected with each other. So with Kruskal spanning tree algorithm class, we do have 3 steps that we are following here. So with minimum spanning tree, Kruskal's minimum spanning tree, what we are observing here is definitely may tatlo taka rules. So steps, the step 1 is basically, let's try to step by step this one. Step 1 is removing all of the loops. So you remove all those particular edges that you will remove those particular edges, path, or edges that this is loops and parallel. So remove all loops and parallel edges. So when we say parallel class, this is basically, ano bala? Kaning duplicate. From the word parallel, naka-duwa ka value. In that vertex, for example, vertex 0 and 1, may duwa ka connection, may duwa ka path, may parallel, like that. So say for example this one. See, 0 may double ka connection. Amo na siya ang parallel. Or loops. Naka-loop siya. Vice versa always. Balik-balik lang. Okay. Too much for that. So right now, I'll be going to give you first the steps that you need to follow. The step 2 is you will be going to arrange all edges in their increasing order. Order. So when we say increasing order, ascending order, so from lowest weighted edges, order of weights, like that. So pinakagamay nga value until sa pinakadako. Amo na siya ang aton nga i-look kay Kruskal's algorithm. So next, step 3, add the edge which has the least weight edges, which has the least weight edge, as well as you draw the final graph which following the rules. Follow the rules. Na wala disconnected ang tanan. You chose those path nga hindi mag-cycle. Then, of course, total all of the minimum spanning tree. Okay. So here, we are done with the steps. Right now, going back with this one, steps is basically from removing all the loops. So as we can see here that we do have a loops. 17, duplicate 1 is to 2, 1 to 3, 3 to 6, and 5 to 6 is definitely considered as a loop. So we need to remove those things. We just remove. So, sa inyong test paper class, inyong answer, sa test, you need to show that step 1. Put step 1. So, in your step 1, you draw this particular product. Amo na siya ang sa step 1. Then, put just step 1, remove. Amo lang na siya ang imo nga i-show. Okay? From that particular graph, you show the step 1, which is you remove all the loops. Afterwards, step 2, you are arranging all of those edges that particularly from increasing order. So when we say increasing order, so we'll begin to see that in here, step 2. So let's try to actually, step 2. Amo na siyang step 2 na to, which is increasing order. So from there, 1 is to 2, 1 to 2, like that, or like this, then put the value is equals to pila ang iya value, 21. Like that. Ano? From increasing order gani, bow. All right. So 2 is the least. So we put, I'm sorry, class. From increasing order, stand corrected. So we need to just follow the steps. So the 2 is basically 4 is to 6. 4 to 6 adjacency. So 4 to 6 is 2. Then followed by the 2 is si number 3. So, i-crush naman si 3 kag, i-update naman din. You don't need to put that crush, hindi nyo pagkrusan ang iikis ang ano ha sa graph. Ako lang na siya ginbutang to determine nga natapos natin. Okay. Si 3 to 4 or vice versa, 3 to 3 connected to 4 or 4 connected to 3, that's fine since that is not a directed graph. That is undirected. So 3. And followed by the 3, which is the 5, which is 1 connected to 3. So here, ano siya? So follow the same thing, 1 to 3 equals 5. Then, next to that is number 6, which is 3 to 6. So, particularly with this one, 3 to 6. That. Just do update. 3 connected to 6, adjacency, which is 6. Then, after that one is the 7 value, which is 2 to 5, which is 7. So, I'm sorry. This is done. Then next is the 8. So 5 to 6. So 5 to 6 is the next term. I mean, next vertex adjacent. So which is 8. Then followed by, ano pa ang mas mababa value? 12. So 12 is basically 4 to 6. 4 to 6, which is 12. Then, we are done with 12. What's next? 14. So 14 is basically their 2 to 4 adjacent is equals to 14. Then lastly, the 21, which is 1 to 2. 1 to 2 is equals to 21. So right now, we already done with regards to our step 2. This is only we're gonna show in your step 2. You put step 2, then determine from increasing order manner. That is the only thing you will begin to do in step 2 particularly. Then afterwards, you go with the step 3, which you definitely go ahead and just draw the final graph, which you follow the rules. So with this particular thing, what I want you to show in your step 3 is you'll be going to check those value na inyo gin-use, na inyo gin-show. So here, 1, ibutang ninyo ni, i-redo ninyo sa step 3. You just put this one, this particular thing, the increasing order, then you just check mark, nga i-check kung imo siya din-draw, i-wrong mo kung i-draw, kung hindi mo siya i-butang sa imo value. Gets? Okay. All right, class. So let's proceed now to our next step, which is the step 3. So the step 3, so 4 to 6, so we'll draw first our particular graph. So amo lang ni siya kasimple ang aton buhaton sa Kruskal's algorithm, which is basically kaya nyo. And definitely 4 to 2, 4 to 6 I mean, which is 2. So therefore, you use that one. That is number 2. And this is being used to check. Wala na siya sa step 3. Then, next is 3 to 4. So 3 to 4 is basically 3. So that's not a cycle yet. So we use that one. Check. 1 to 3 is not a cycle. So we'll use that one. That is 5. And this is 3. And put check here. So 3 to 6, that is a cycle. So therefore, we are unable to use that one. Just put wrong. Then 2 to 5, which is not a cycle. So that is 7. We'll check that. Then 5 to 6 is definitely not your cycle. So we'll use that one either. So that is 8. So therefore, 4 to 6, I'm sorry class, we have a trouble here. 4 to 5 nigali ang 12. 4 to 5. Nagkasayop si sir. Which is 12. Nagduplicate ang aton nga ano. Sorry lang, tao lang. 4 to 5. Since we are done with 4 to 6, which is the number 2. So 4 to 5, wala gid ako na correct again. Subong lang ko nakamalay. So 4 to 5, which is a cycle, so therefore we cannot use that one. 2 to 4 will definitely a cycle, we cannot use. 1 to 2, still a cycle, we can't use. So that is the only thing that you'll be going to do in your particular minimum spanning tree with Kruskal's. So this is your graph, the final graph. And after that one, you calculate the minimum spanning tree cost, MST cost. And that is how much? So that our value is basically 7 plus mo ang 8, i-plus mo si 2, i-plus mo si 3, and i-plus mo si 5. And that is basically 25. So 7, 8, 15, 17, 25. Okay. Your minimum spanning tree of Kruskal's minimum spanning tree algorithm cost is 25 definitely. So this will be your answer finally. Amula na siya ang pag-come up natin like Kruskal's algorithm. Kruskal's minimum spanning tree algorithm. So now, let's move on to Prim's spanning tree algorithm. So with this one class, I will be going to basically, I will begin to basically still use with Prim's algorithm. We'll be going to use the same example here. Minimum spanning tree algo. Okay, we still do have the steps here, class, that is being observed. So for step 1, we are definitely removing still the loops and parallel edges. The step 2, we are choose in any arbitrary root node. Arbitrary node as a root node. Then step 3 is we are checking outgoing edges and select the one with less cost. So less cost lang ang aton pangitaon and amula na siyang i-draw mo directly. Wala na to siya gakuha sa mga checking to. So in this particular thing, you remove the loops, the same thing. Muna sila ang mga loops. So that's simple. Remove all the loops. Dira ka mo sagad sa remove. Then, after, choose any arbitrary node. So you chose either 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, and 6. So much better you'll start from 1. Suppose we are starting from 1. So from 1, there is a adjacent. 1 to 2 is 21, and 1 to 3 is 5. So basically for that one class, we are choosing the root number 3. Since 3 is basically having the minimum cost, which is mas gamay iya value. Amo lang na siya. So 5. Then, visit number 3. From number 3, we can definitely also check here. Is 3 to 4, how much? This is 3. So we can also visit there. Use that there. 3 to 6 is not a cycle. We can also use that one. So 6. Pwede ka man maka-use ang 2. So 1 is to 2. Since that's not a cycle. But however, class, 21 is very high. Since if you will be going to see here, minimum spanning tree, or I mean in your graph, 21 is the greater value. So hindi natin siya pag-ius danay. All right. So let's go for the 4. There is absolutely here my value tadi 4 to 6, which is number 2. So with that particular thing, mas i-choose natin si 2 kay mas gamay. So therefore, in our 6, hindi natin siya pag-include. So 3 to 4 is our path nga i-follow lang natin. And 4 to 6 is number 2. That's absolutely small value. Then continue from to 6. 6 to 3 is 6, which is can also include cycle. 6 to 5 is not a cycle, but the value is gamay, so you can go right there. From number 5, you can check. There is 7, there is 12, and there is 8. Since 8 is already being picked, so you can go there at 7. So everything is already done here. All of the vertices is being visited. So right now, you'll just calculate the minimum spanning tree cost, which is absolutely how much. So you total everything, the value. From there, you add the particular value right there, which is the 7, plus mo si 8, i-plus mo si 2, i-plus mo si 3, and i-plus mo si 5, which is still definitely 25. So therefore, this is your step 3 answer. This is your step 1 answer. Step 2 is number 1, and you have a value of 25 after. You need to show into your MST cost for the Prim's minimum spanning tree algorithm. So basically, that is how we determine for choosing the Prim's algorithm. That is so basic for you, class. So I want you to do that in your exam as well, since that is only basic sang inyo, and that is really simple. Okay, thank you so much. That's end for this topic. for the minimum spanning tree. And in the next video, I'll be going to discuss to you more on all about with Dijkstra's algorithm in regards to the shortest path algorithm, which is still included into your final exam. So thank you so much and have a great day. Study hard for your final exam. God bless.